welcome to your Friday. I'm Savannah Sellers.
I'm Joe Fryer right now on Morning News Now. States of emergency. Those severe storms battering the south, turning deadly this morning. Officials say torrential downpours.
That's where today's topic comes in. Today I will be exploring the concept of a media diet. A media diet is the amount and types of media you consume in a day. Media consumption is the same as food consumption. Not every diet is going to work for everyone, and not every media diet is going to work for everyone. So I put to the test two very different media diets. One which was very vague, and one which was incredibly specific, with 9 hours of media consumption scheduled down to the minute. This was a bizarre experiment, one that caused an extreme amount of stress and an even more extreme number of magazines checked out from my local public library. First things first, I had to take stock of my current media diet. Good morning. It is currently 5:52 a.m. I consume a lot of media. I wanted today to be an ultimate example of the variety of media that I consume, and I would normally listen to podcasts because I'm so very smart. I usually listen to podcasts when I work out. I'm not gonna have time to work out after school today. So pretend that I hypothetically went to the gym. For the entire day, any type of media that I'm consuming, I'm gonna time. That's what this hypothetical is. I usually listen to one of two podcasts, and that is the Mel Robbins podcast, which is probably my favorite, and then Self-Obsessed from Tam Core. Sometimes I listen to the Very Really Good podcast from Curtis Connor. I have to take a picture to prove that I'm doing this, and it's not gonna make sense when I take the picture, but it's gonna make sense when you see this video. When I get ready in the morning, I have my computer. Here we go, and I watch YouTube videos on it while I get ready. Right now I'm watching a guide to film festivals. I need to time that as well. So I just got done scrolling on Instagram for 47 minutes, which objectively isn't that long, but oh my god, I don't do that very often, and that's why, because it sucks. Instagram Reels is such a cesspool. Why did I do that? Read a book. I don't know. Some kids my age are spending 6 hours a day on their phones. And me personally, I would never do that. I need a drink of water after that. Dude, I hate Instagram. Why do I go on Instagram Reels? I need to ban myself from going on Instagram Reels, I think. On that first day, I came out to nearly an hour and a half of entertainment, almost an hour of social media usage, and 48 minutes of news and education, with only 4 of those minutes being news. The news in question was from our school newspaper, the Spartan Shield, so do with that information what you will. It brings us to a grand total of about 3 hours of daily media consumption. I was about to do 3 times this amount in one day. But first, the simple one. First media diet I did was the easiest and most vague. This one comes from the Teaching Tolerance Project, a project of the Southern Poverty Law Center. This initiative outlines 5 steps according to them. 1. Taking stock of your current media diet. Lucky for me, I did that yesterday. Next is to identify reputable news sources, consume a balanced diet, which in my opinion is less of a step and more of an overall goal. 4, cutting out junk food sources. 5, trim the fat. And lastly, practice mindful media consumption. Now, for any mathematicians watching, you may have noticed that I listed 6 steps after saying that there were 5. And that's because on the website, they listed a fourth step twice. So, using my critical thinking skills, I can discern that maybe this is not the most reliable news source. Anyway, the most actionable step we get is from under step 3, consume a balanced diet, where it says not to consume all of your information from one source, but from a variety of sources, including across all partisan lines. So that's exactly what I did. Okay, I found this media bias chart, and what I've seen from other sources seems to sort of coincide with this. I guess I'll just pick one from every column. I guess I'm just gonna go with the first source on every category. So we're gonna start with the far left, and we're gonna go to CNN. Does Trump have to be in court every day? Answering popular questions about Monday's trial. There's a trial on Monday? See, I don't know anything. I'm very ill-informed. And that's on purpose. I am willfully ignorant, and I don't plan on changing anytime soon. I'm what's wrong with America. I'm gonna set like a 15-minute timer. 60 divided by 5. It's like 12? 12. Alright, I'm gonna spend 12 minutes reading different news sources because we're not spending more than an hour on this. So now would be a good time to talk about the single perspective instinct. The single perspective instinct is a term coined by Hans Rosling, which is exactly what it sounds like. Only getting information from one place or only reading things that you agree with limits your perspective. I will now read a direct quote. Factfulness is recognizing that a single perspective can limit your imagination, and remembering that it is better to look at problems from many angles to get a more accurate understanding and find practical solutions. And that pretty much sums up everything that you need to know about that. Okay, I read one whole article. That took me about like exactly 12 minutes, so that's good. I will not be spending more than an hour on this. And I think my plan is to find something about Trump from every news source and see how they talk about him. I feel like CNN was pretty impartial, but I am also probably politically identify more with that side of the political spectrum, so I don't know if they could be saying something negative, and I'm like, no, that's accurate, and I just think it's impartial. Let's do ABC News. What is this homepage? Hold on. I can't tell if it's just like not loading all the way yet, but I feel like a news source shouldn't look like that. Hi. Goldie, do you want to read the news with me? Okay, ABC News is not working, so we're gonna try The Atlantic. That was a weird homepage for ABC News. Okay. Ooh, this one. So I'm reading this article, right? But, yo, what is that? I have to pay to read the rest of the... That's some nonsense, if you ask me. This is why I don't like the news. I see something like this, the AI revolution is crushing thousands of languages, and that makes me upset, because I don't want to think about AI. AI is stupid. Just reading stuff like that just, makes me annoyed as heck. Hopefully I don't have to freaking pay to read this, but we'll see. That was definitely very left-leaning. But now let's do something central. See, and this is why I don't like the news. Because you open it, and the first thing you see is, as Israel debates Iran attack response, can U.S. allies stop slide into all-out war? Hey, no thanks. I don't want to think about that. It's like, why would you pay to just, have anxiety and hear about people dying, That's a bad investment. The New Yorker is on there. I should have just read one of the short stories in The New Yorker, because they have those, and I like them. just reread Brokeback Mountain in the New Yorker and be like, I don't know, media literacy, news. Like, I read this for school. Real Clear Politics. Let's look at that. Voters look back at Trump's presidency more positively. Dude, see, then I get freaked out. So, let's do Trump, abortion, and winning the 2024 election. 12 minutes, because I want to read this a second longer than I have to. This says it was the most central-leaning one, Real Clear Politics. But this is the most opinionated thing I've read. I'm a few sentences in, and it says, President Joe Biden's approval rating on each issue is horrific. On immigration above all, and rightly so. You can't say, and rightly so, in a news Huh? This was written by a pro-lifer. Alright, let's finish this article. The next media diet comes from the Wired article appropriately titled Balance Your Media Diet. This media diet is structured like a pyramid with entertainment on the bottom, representing the majority of the media that you should be consuming. I personally agree with this 100%. I think that most of the media that should be consumed should be for entertainment purposes. Then it goes to news, social media, and finally 1 hour of gaming, which I find odd. Spoiler alert, I don't do that. This stupid media diet, coinciding with my 2 tech weeks for theater, is probably the reason why this project is late. It is simply insane. As of right now, it is 1:37 in the morning. So I'm going to try to get as much done today, which is Saturday, and tomorrow as humanly possible. So today I'm going to be doing the most intense of the things, because what better to do for the rest of the day than just like consume media? Honestly, that sounds awesome. So I'm at the library. I need to pick up some DVDs, because for this media diet I get like an hour and a half of television, I think. I'm just gonna watch a movie and I want to look at the DVDs, and then I have to spend an hour on traditional news, and I said like newspapers, and so I just want to see if there's some newspapers that I can get. I'm gonna check out some newspapers at my local public library. I love the library. Well-established like news sources, you know, like New Yorker. Oh, I'll find New Yorker, that'll be good. Got some news. library haul. I got Whiplash, that this is like the male version of Black Swan. I wanted to get Black Swan, and you can see me. You can see my live reaction of realizing that they don't have Black Swan. And I got The Godfather because I've never seen it, and we got some news. Mother Jones, which to my understanding is a more like liberal source, but I got it because I thought the cover was fun. I thought the cover was funny. The New Yorker, Ecology Today. That's news, I think. I think so. I was like, oh my god, that's what I'm about to do. So I thought that would be a fun and important resource. Yeah, let's get crack-a-lackin'. I need to clean out my car like real quick, so I'm gonna do some of my podcast listening done while I do that. So okay, I'm now at 47 minutes of podcast, so I'm gonna listen to the rest of the podcasts while I clean my room.
And then I want you to just sit just for a minute with that grief. I want you to think about the things that you weren't there for, the things that maybe you missed out on because you got really busy or you had a ton of stuff that you needed to do or life just happened. It's okay. But now what are we going to do about it?
Okay, update. I had a plan where I was going to come home, work out, and then work on my media literacy project for the rest of the evening. However, today happens to be Mother's Day, and instead I went and had dinner with my mom and a bunch of our friends and family.
Billionaire, and she's amazing. She is amazing. She is a billionaire, and she's doing great. You bring up a good point that even Brenna agrees with, which is, I don't know, is the music that like earth-shaking and groundbreaking, and is it new?
That being said, I've come to the conclusion now that 9 regimented hours of media consumption is not doable for the average person who has a lot of things going on in their day. You know, media consumption should just be, I think it should be more natural. So I think that this is kind of an example of like a super restrictive, regimented diet, you know, where there's really not a lot of lenience. So I will be trying my darndest to squeeze in the required media to be consumed as much as possible. I don't think that should take very long, but unfortunately it is going to happen over the course of a few days, like how it's been happening. It's been like 3 days instead of the 1 day as intended. So instead of beating myself up about it, I think that this is maybe a problem with the media diet itself. Look at those critical thinking skills. I'm so smart. I'm backstage at a show right now, but the grind never stops. We're backstage at To Kill a Mockingbird, and I'm still reading the news.
Hello.
This is for my teacher.
They're a very good student, and they're my favorite. You better give them an A, or I'm coming over there.
She's my favorite. Hello, and welcome to my midnight reading corner. This is the most flattering angle you've ever seen anyone filmed at. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. It's currently 11:10 p.m. I've been reading The New Yorker. This news isn't stressful. It's just kind of like boring. Boring as hell, if I'm being honest. There was one thing about like abortion pills at the beginning, and while I think that that's like an important topic, it felt like an article where someone had a deadline and like a minimum number of words that they needed, that they were just trying to squeeze in there. But then I was reading this long ass article about this revival of Uncle Vanya. I think I'm bored by the news. That being said, I have like 20 minutes left of news that I need to consume. For the rest of the time, I'm going to read this because this is what I'm doing to myself right now. So maybe we will get some helpful tips and tricks. This is low-key giving media literacy, media diet. I know it's talking about actual food, but like, come on. Junk food, junk brain. Okay, my timer just went up on my news. Hello and welcome back to the best media literacy project you've ever seen. Now, as of filming this project is due in less than 24 hours. I'm very fun and very cool. What we have left of the Wired media diet is to read 1 hour of news blogs, because traditional news is not good enough. We have to go on Reddit, because Redditors are infamously very smart. Spend 2 hours networking. I like how the camera's at an unintentional Dutch angle so that you can see that I'm going insane. 1 hour of gaming? Dude, catch me at 1 a.m. playing Mario Kart. Could I probably lessen the extent of this? Sure. That being said, not gonna enjoy my lunch. I will be not enjoying my lunch reading Reddit about current events. So yeah, r/news and r/current events. So let's do r/news and set a timer. All right, here is r/news, and let's take a minute to appreciate the setup. You can't see it as good when it's right there, but please appreciate it. Okay, I learned something. So this is about military financing, and I learned dollar amount doesn't mean that you give people money in actual cash. So many idiots just think we give them billions of actual cash and call it a day, and then the government and media does a terrible job at conveying this, whereas all the lines of vehicles and stacks of artillery. So it's like that dollar amount, like military assets. This is what people are saying, and I wouldn't know that. But again, people be lying, so you know. I do be thinking critically. People be lying, but I be thinking critically. I will give them this. It is interesting to see what people are saying about current events. The one about the Slovakian prime minister, I believe, being shot. Some people were saying like, oh, it reminds me of like Archduke Franz Ferdinand, and then a lot of people were saying, oh, just because a politician got shot, you think that that's gonna start another world war? Like, politicians get shot all the time. So it's interesting to see some people just be like, alright, we're going to another world war, and then other people being like, you're dumb. And I would never participate in these conversations, but they are fun to read. It is unfortunately very fun to see people fight on the internet. I don't feel silly anymore. Reading people fight in the comments can like feel the cortisol in my body. There's no way this is healthy. There's no way Wired.com wants me to do this to myself. I like this comment because it's a Fight Club reference. I am Jack's complete lack of surprise. I'm Jack's ready to be done with this media literacy project. So my heart rate is at 78. 83. My heart rate is at 83. And it is usually closer to 57 or 60. So I hate this. Why would anyone do this? Why is this part of a healthy media diet? This feels bad for me. Well, my heart rate is raised. My computer is hot. I am more stressed than I was before, and I wasted an hour. Because what is stopping me from lying about how much time I'm spending on this? Anyway, reflecting on that, stupid, dumb, bad. I feel like garbage. I feel kind of like how I felt after I scrolled on Instagram Reels. It's a cesspool. You see all the weird things that people think and they put it online, and it's like, I don't need that, you know? Like, I felt pretty okay before, and now I'm like stressed about things that don't concern me on the other side of the world. I need to take some deep breaths, I think. All right, you know what time it is? Social media time. I need to do this for, it said 2 hours. I don't know if I'm gonna do that because 2 hours is like 1 a.m. I have a little social media to-do list here, so I'll probably just do it until I'm done with that. I'm gonna go on my, you see, this is my secret folder. I'm gonna go on my Instagram and get crack-a-lackin'. First, follow my friend back. This is her, I guess, from earlier in the video. Look.
Shake my hand in character. What's your name?
It's me.
What's your favorite line in the show?
He's been living over our beans. Okay, I don't know if this is good. This is just a video. And I like how you can see the reflection of the light in my phone. I said, come see To Kill a Mockingbird this weekend and next weekend. Social networking. Stop. I'm on the official On the Theater's story. Look at what Instagram just told me. It's 11 p.m. Get the hell off of your phone is what they're telling me. Consider closing Instagram for the night or turn on quiet mode to help you wind down. I would like to Instagram, but unfortunately, I have to be media literate. Dude, this ring light reflection. I have this video, which is my favorite video I think ever. And then so I just have some posts about To Kill a Mockingbird, and then I Never Saw Another Butterfly because I'm so good at promoting the shows that I'm in. And now I need to make, I thought it said 32 minutes and I was like, geez, already? I need to make a post for I Never Saw Another Butterfly. Also, I'm gonna stop with the time lapse because it's probably boring to, it's not like I'm reading. Like a reading time lapse is kind of fun. I'm gonna post this meme on my story. Wish I liked critical thinking skills. Y'all seem so happy. That's how I feel. See, look. Meme and media literacy. It's going on my private story. My phone is hot to the touch. Forgot about the gaming. I just checked and it would appear I got no games on my phone. Cause guess what happened? I got sidetracked. Someone I tagged posted something on their story about current events, and then I started reading that post, and then I read through the comments on that post for way too long, and now I'm thinking about current events, and it makes me sad. Hey, remember when we took stock of the amount of media I would normally consume in a day, and it came out to 3 hours, and that was with an upsettingly greater amount of social media than usual? Does it surprise you to find out that when attempting to consume 9 hours of media in one day, it ended up actually happening over the course of 3 days when I did it alongside a normal daily schedule? Because it shouldn't. That's just basic math. 9 hours of media in a day, not including the stuff I use for homework, is absolutely obscene. Who the hell told Wired.com that the average American consumes 9 hours of media in a day? That is a full work day of media activities. If you spend 7 hours a day at school or work, then you do 9 hours straight of media consumption, you're getting an absolute maximum of 7 hours of sleep. And using my newfound critical thinking skills, I call BS on that one. I clicked on the link on the Wired article that said roughly 9 hours a day in the sentence, the average American spends roughly 9 hours a day glued to some kind of screen. And you know where that link took me? To a goddamn paywall to read a New York Times article. Furthermore, you can see for a second here that it says 8 hours, not 9. And another thing, this stupid pyramid says to consume an hour and a half of traditional news, which I did not read on a screen, so that's even less than the alleged 9 hours glued to some kind of screen. I think I have come to a conclusion, and it's not the obvious one. I set out to learn something about media literacy, but that did not come from the hours spent reading the news and getting stressed out by the news and reading Instagram comment sections and getting stressed out by Instagram comment sections and getting cucked by paywalls from the New Yorker because Brokeback Mountain was my one free online article of all time on there, and I guess I have to give them money if I want to read anything that's not that, but joke's on them, I don't want to read anything that's not that. Where was I? Media literacy. These stupid media diets led me to a conclusion on a very meta level. Instead of thinking critically about the news, I became critical of the people telling me about the news. I think that Wired.com's media consumption pyramid should be the end-all be-all when it comes to the amount of time spent on what media you consume. That being said, I realized I had a lot of cognitive distortions, and not in the way that you would immediately assume. I realized my distortions weren't about another political party or something, but about the news itself. I was negative filtering, focusing only on the negative and seldom noticing the positive. I was bored out of my mind at times and made anxious by reading the news and made anxious by going on Reddit and made anxious by going on Instagram and felt like I can feel the brain rot. However, I also enjoyed some of it. The stuff I read in Psychology Today was actually really interesting, and I wish that I had spent more time on that than other news sources. I wish I had just read Psychology Today. I was also just counting the positives kind of for this whole project. Was it stressful as hell? Yes, absolutely. Is it almost 2 a.m.? Yeah. But was it also fun for me to watch John Mulaney for a school project because it counts as the entertainment block on the media literacy diet? Also, yes. I think the most insightful thing that I can say about this is that media diets are a lot like food diets. I've tried them and they're not for me. I already know that I'm gonna eat healthy because eating healthy makes me feel good. I'll eat like junk food when I feel like it, which is probably just like a dessert with dinner. And then I eat it and I feel happy. And get it? It's like a metaphor, okay? And I'm not gonna go like binge eat the unhealthy food because I know that that makes me feel like shit. If nothing else, they really hit it out of the park with the term media diet. I could not think of a more perfect metaphor because it's a stupid waste of time that isn't applicable to the average person. And if I could give one piece of advice that you should take away from this video, it would be this. Don't read Reddit forums and comment sections from people fighting about current events. It is a waste of life that will make you feel like garbage. It will ruin your day and increase your blood pressure. Well, that was that. Now it's time for me to stay up all night editing.